Good morning. How are you? Hi, Beverly. How's it going? Emmy, good morning. How are you? SoFlo Mama. What's happening, everybody? Y'all, I literally have zero, um, no agenda. I just thought I'd pop up here and shoot the shit with y'all for a little while. Maybe we'll just do an open panel. That could be fun. Hey, Brittany, how are you? Brittany, I did get your email. And I am gonna reply. You are on my list. Oh, who sang that song? Oh, Hall & Oates from back in, what was that? I think I was in high school. So it would have been late 80s, mid to late 80s. Oh God, I love that song. Well, my goodness. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. In fact, my gosh, it was kind of like down home week. We had a big, I think I mentioned last week, we had a big old, big family party, and never let it be said that Lisa isn't a diplomat at heart. I very much am an ambassador of goodwill. Just ask my ex-husband of, oh my God, about a decade and a half. And it wasn't, well, let's just say we spent a lot of time in and out of court. It was, as far as nasty divorces go, it wasn't like that. But let's just say that he took the view that child support, that it was like an optional kind of thing. And, that date when it's due, well, that's merely a suggestion, which he most certainly found out that is not the case. Took a long time, but my goodness, he was standing in my kitchen enjoying a cocktail yesterday. Yes, he was. Y'all, even when I was going through a divorce, and like I said, it was dicey. I mean, it was contentious. There was a lot. When the judge knows you without having to look at your case file, and you're meeting in the judge's chambers on the regular, well, take my word for it when I say it was contentious. But no matter how bad it got, and this is hand to God, I wish I could find a way to not have my palms 37 shades lighter than the rest of my body. But I'm sorry, y'all. No more real sun for Lisa. Very rarely, like 2 weeks ago, before it got super gross in Florida, I did go sit out in the lawn chair for about 15 minutes. And I had on a hat that, I kid you not, had a brim this wide and sunscreen all over my face. My days of baking in the sun are long gone. Fake only. I tell you guys all the time, I'm smoke and mirrors, baby, smoke and mirrors. Little bit of glitter, I've got a little bit of a magic wand. I believe in, I make regular trips to the fountain of youth, okay? And no, not, don't think scalpel, think needle. You don't have to use a scalpel anymore. It's wonderful. But where I was going with this is, no matter how bad it was between my ex-husband and I, when it came to our son, we were always, well, I'm not going to say we were always on the same page as far as our thoughts on things. I was adamant that my son would go to private school his entire school career, no matter what it took. And don't think that I didn't, have to go in my closet a time or two and part with a treasured item to make that big old tuition check, but I did it. And so when I say we weren't on the same page about everything, I mean things like that. But my son played competitive sports. He traveled all over the state, and it's a year-round thing. It would have a very short break of maybe 6 weeks. I can tell you that I stood next to my ex-husband at just about every soccer game. He came to my house for every birthday. Anything that was important for my son, he was there. I can't even count how many times he was sitting on my couch or in my kitchen eating my food and enjoying cocktails at a party. And we had just maybe been in court a few days before. So I know how to get along or coexist. I know how to coexist with people that I can't stand. So, and I am going to explain my little video in just a minute because I'm sure I'm going to get some heat for it. And the intended message is somebody's going to try and spin it all the way around the wash cycle. But no, I am going to explain why I did it. Hi, Mike Stevens. Oh my God, Mike Stevens. Do I need to bounce you already? Mike, oh, that hurts. Not really. So, but yesterday, like I said, we had a big family party. And here comes my ex-husband. And I have not seen him. Listen, once your kids, get past the age of 18, well, you're not having court and all that shit. And, my son doesn't play sports anymore like that because he's a grown man with a grown man life. But, for big occasions and whatnot, yeah, I haven't seen him in, oh God, it's been several years. And it was just weird. And of course, my husband I'm so blessed. You will not find a more understanding, compassionate, kind. My son was young, very young, when I married my husband that I'm married to now. And I mean, immediately out of the gate, when it was serious and I was going to relocate after my son, I had him finish school where he was. And then when school was out, we relocated. And from jump, my ex-husband said all the time, I am never going to be his dad. I'm never going to try and replace his dad. He has a dad. I just want him to know that he can always come to me for anything. And I promise you that has always been the case. He was fantastic. He's still fantastic. I could say a little more, but I'm not going to, because that's not what this is about. But I say that just to, when I say that I can get along with people that I can't stand, believe me, okay? Hey, literally Davis fam, how you doing? Hey, Notre Dame, how are you? Oh, who's on their way to Miami? Oh, wait. Oh, God, that fucking boiling hot mess. I haven't been keeping up with Skanky Betty. What's going on with well, hold on a minute, because I brought a couple more things for show and tell you guys. I figured, well, hell, since we're, walking down that road, I may as well, I keep telling you guys, I'm going to do this list of Lisa's favorite things. And it's not even like I have to sit down and think about it. All I have to do is look around because Lisa's favorite things are all over. Oh, that's another fabulous thing about my husband. Like, he lets me do whatever I want in the house. He's not like, oh God, listen, I know some men that, well, their wives, like, they don't have free reign in the house. I tell my husband, the only input I need from you, honey, that would be your credit card. Just put it right here and just pay that bill. That's the extent of your input. But I try and keep it, reasonable. But I really want to do this list, because if I'm going to recommend it to anyone else, it is because it is something I really do love. So I promise that's coming. But in the meantime, I just brought a couple little things. And no, it's not a tape measure. Hi, True Crime Dime. How are you? None your beeswax. How you doing? Oh, and Emmy, hey, Voices, how are you? I would love to, well, maybe if you've got time to stick around after I do my rant, or actually, no, it's not a rant, and I'm going to need you guys to fill me in a little bit, because I had a lot going on this weekend and I did the Natalia Grace episode on Saturday, but that was it. I did listen to Queen Bee's, I think it was last night's episode. It was the latest one from yesterday. But I'm just a little more than halfway through that. So I think I've kind of got the gist of what's going on, but you know how that goes. I mean, it could be completely wrong and irrelevant in 5 minutes. So I guess I should hurry and try. Hold on. There's one more thing I'm writing down here. What's that called? Sharper. Okay. So what I bring for show and tell. All right. Well, I know this sounds weird, but when I come in my office and I do a stream, even though you can't see anything basically from here down, I still come in, wearing heels. Now, sometimes I'll have cutoffs with the heels. Not today, but I don't know. That's because this is kind of like, this is part of my armor for me. I don't know what it is. I've always been like this. More than makeup. Because like I said before, I have worn more makeup in the last year or so than I have my entire life. But these are like my security blanket. It's because I'm short, I guess. I don't know. I just love heels. And it really does. Have y'all ever seen you'll see it on cocktail napkins, little framed art prints, and it's always some version of, give a girl the right pair of shoes and she can change the world. I forget who said that. It was not Coco Chanel. Oh my God, wait a minute. I can't. Oh my goodness, look what I have here. And honest to God, I didn't even plan this. This is sitting next to me on my desk. You can't see it out of the camera range, but it says, keep your heels head and standards high. Mademoiselle Coco Chanel. I will find out who said that quote about the shoes. Give a girl the right pair of shoes, she can change the world. I don't know. They've just always been like my armor, kind of. I don't know. I just feel like, and you put a pair on and try, and they don't have to be 5 inches. I mean, put on a kitten heel if you want to, but just try it and tell me that you don't sit a little taller, and it does. It changes the way you walk. It changes the way you sit. You will pull your shoulders back put your girls will stand up a little higher. Hey, Boston, how you doing? Spencer. Oh, it was Marilyn Monroe. There you go. Perfect. Love her. Oh my goodness. You know what? I think I've shown you guys this before on my another piece of furniture that you can't see, but I have it's about that thick, and it is the catalog of Marilyn Monroe's personal possessions that were auctioned at Christie's. I forget, it hasn't been that many years ago, within the last decade, I believe. So I'm a big fan of, shocking, I'm sure, I'm a big fan of Miss Marilyn Monroe. Okay, so here's my recommendations for, wait, the only other thing I want to say about the shoes is find whatever it is for you that gives you that feeling, like shoes do for me. Hey, Zen11, how are you? Oh, Brittany. Well, and I didn't see your comment before I started to say this. Hey, Clancy, how are you? Every woman, and men for that matter, but mainly to the ladies, we all have something that makes us self-love, girl. Lipstick, at least you can do that any time of the day or night. The vodka, I'm not so sure about that one. That's hilarious. Oh, speaking of that, you know what I just traded? And I very rarely drink. But, you know, when we go out or we have people over, I'll have a cocktail. And I have traded my White Claw for High Noon. Highly recommend them. Now, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, they are double the price of White Claw. I bought 2 8-packs of the High Noon, and it was, oh God, it was $40. They're $20 for 8. And the White Claw, I believe you get, well, you get more than that for $18.99 or $20, something like that. So, but anyway, whatever it is for you, whether it's lipstick, vodka, high heels, your vape pen, whatever it is that gives you that little bit of oomph, and makes you, you know, gives you confidence. That's the word I'm looking for. And we all have something. So some of us have more than one. Whatever yours is, okay? And all this is because I'm leading into that video that I made this morning. And I think I will. I'll open the panel up after I go through the couple things I want to talk about. And then, yeah, you guys can catch me up. What's it called? Tequila Diamante? Huh, I've never heard of it. Well, self-love mama, that brings to mind another cocktail napkin saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Okay, Emmy. Yeah, anybody can. Let me just get through these couple things first, and then we'll just, I don't know, we'll just see what happens. We'll just you know, let it fly. Hey, I'm Faithful. How are you? Well, there you go. Like I said, we've all got something. Lip gloss, expensive handbag, and my chihuahua. Oh, you're a girl after my own heart, minus the chihuahua. Or, you know, I'm little. I can't, like, oh no, and I got bad neck and back. I can't be carrying a dog around. I haven't even had to downsize my purse. Okay. Summertime perfume. I am a huge fan of gardenia. I love gardenia. I have a huge gardenia bush out in my yard. It blooms once a year, and I put them all over my house in like floating crystal bowls of water. And I love gardenia. But if you also like gardenia, well, you know that it can go old lady real quick. Hey, Texas Tiffany, how are you? Oh, there you go. It's 5 o'clock in England. So, Flo Mama. Oh, Tom Ford, Lost Cherry. Is that the one in the red bottle? Because I know he just dropped one pretty recently that I saw at Nordstrom last week as I was jotting down. You guys want to hear something funny? I used to have what I called a gift drawer. And in that drawer, my husband knew, well, it wasn't just for me, things I wanted, but of course I would. So anytime I would be reading a magazine or see something on the internet, whatever the case may be, if it was a magazine or a catalog, I would rip the page out, very nicely circle the item if there was more than one, and throw it in that drawer. It's in my butler's pantry, and no, I don't have I wish I had a butler that went with the butler's pantry. I do not. I have the butler's pantry minus the butler. But I have one side and my husband has the other side. And on my side, I had my gift drawer. So things that I liked, that I saw, that, just in case he wanted to buy me a gift and wanted to know what I wanted. I wanted to make it easy for him. Honey, just open the drawer. And if it was for me, I would, put an L on it with a Sharpie. I'm very thoughtful that way. But it was really things that would catch my eye and I would put in there for when I needed to buy someone a gift. So I saw that Tom Ford at Nordstrom. I don't know if it was that one, but yeah, I love his fragrance. I think the makeup is insanely overpriced. I have a few of the lipsticks. The packaging is gorgeous, and let's face it, that's what we buy for the most part. My husband has told me that I would buy dog shit if they put it in a pretty box and tied it up with a bow, and he's probably correct. And I'm not alone. Lots of women do that. It's all about the packaging, baby. Okay. So if you want a good gardenia perfume, I've brought two in. I'm wearing one. The other one is kind of a dupe for the one I'm wearing. This is the one I'm wearing. It's Bond number 9. And this is, the name of this is Saks Fifth Avenue, but it is the strongest, longest lasting gardenia perfume on this planet, as far as I'm concerned. I have never found one that is stronger and longer lasting. And it's like sexy gardenia. Okay. This ain't your grandma's gardenia perfume. Hey, B2, how you doing? Okay. So this, and obviously the bottles are beautiful, and I think they still do the refill deal. If you burn through one of these, I've had this, I can't even tell you, but I have had this for probably 5 years. And it is still very full. When I tell you, kind of like people who smoke weed and they say, oh, one hit's all you need. And, of course you don't believe it. And you take like 8 giant ones and, nobody sees you for the next 2 days. This is kind of the same thing. One shot here. And interestingly enough, you're not supposed to ever do this. You're supposed to spray it and then just let it dissipate. They say that when you do this, which we've all been conditioned to do forever, that does something to break up the way the scent is distributed. So truly, you could get by with one. I do one here and then one where I kind of do one of those numbers. Okay, so there's that. And if you want to dupe for that, this is the large bottle. It also comes in a small bottle. And interestingly enough, they do make candles. I kind of got over my Candle obsession. Okay, this is 3.3 fluid ounces. They make a smaller one that's probably 1.5 ounces. This Gucci Bloom, I believe this is the OG one. This is a good dupe for that one. This is not as strong. It does not last as long, but this has got a lot of staying power too. But it's probably half the scent of the Bond number 9. Okay. Consciously biased. Hello, how are you? 2 more recommendations while I'm at it, because I started this weekend. I saw a fantastic movie on Apple TV, and I think it's been out a little while. Sharper is what it's called, with John Lithgow, Julianne Moore, some hot guy, I can't remember his name, and another young, beautiful actress. I don't know her name either, but fantastic movie. So I tell you what, ever since COVID happened, movies, I don't know. It is so rare for me to find one that I actually would even recommend to somebody. And that was pretty damn good. And on, hey, Kara Alsup. Hi, Nonsense. How you doing? Well, welcome, Kara. I'm glad you made it. Hulu. I think it's Hulu. Yes. The Dropout. It's really good. You will recognize the actress playing the lead, she plays Elizabeth Holmes. It is the story of Elizabeth Holmes, who, by the way, just checked herself into federal prison, where she'll spend the next 11 years. Of course, it is federal, so, you know, even though you do almost all your time in the federal system, well, I'm going to take the word of people who know. Oh, damn. Hold on. I know I'm ping-ponging everywhere. I want to recommend a channel that I've watched a few times. And when I said the thing about her checking into jail, that's why it reminded me of him. Yeah, so The Dropout, and it is the true story of Elizabeth Holmes and her bogus company called Theranos. Did I listen to it in a podcast? Yes, I listened to the podcast several years ago, but that is it's a great story. And you will recognize the actress playing Elizabeth Holmes, Amanda Seyfried. I know I'm not saying it right. Okay, so that is very good. And the only other thing I'm going to recommend before I get into my little explaining about the video I made this morning, there is a channel, you guys. His name is Jumpsuit Pablo. And he's a young guy who just recently, I'm not sure how recently, I don't even want to guess, but in his own words, he said recently, did 10 years in the prison where Alexander Murdoch is. And he did an episode yesterday. It was fascinating. It was about 35, 40 minutes. And he did an episode on, it was Chris Watts, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, Letitia Stout, Aiden Fucci, is that his name? And one other person who I'm not remembering. But the title of the video was, which of these prisoners will survive prison? And he gives his experience of being in prison for a decade. And you would never know what to look at him. He's a young guy. He's kind of soft-spoken. Oh, Emmy, thank you very much. Has anybody seen him? I love that kid. I'm fascinated by stuff like that. I really am. I'm trying to think of somebody I could, well, it's kind of similar to, hey, Liza, how are you? Take Kelly, how you doing? What is, oh, Sean Atwood, sort of in that vein, but not as, he doesn't, I don't think he does sit downs with, all the people that Atwood does. But interestingly enough, he actually has done a few interviews from inside the prison, from like a guy who's got a contraband cell phone. And that was about Alex Murdaugh. So check him out. I like the kid, and it's interesting to hear, because we always wonder, all these disgusting scumbag, horrible, awful people. I mean, we all wonder. Oh, I mean, I know I cannot be the only one who watches these cases and these disgusting people who sits back and says, well, my God, I sure as hell hope that everything I've ever heard about prison is true. And that when insert criminal name here goes to prison, I hope that they, get the treatment. And, kind of like what happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. And I saw yesterday Ted Kaczynski. They found him dead in his cell. Was I not just talking about old Unabomber himself on Saturday? Yes, I was. Yeah, I hope you guys, hey, Stella Bella, how you doing? I hope you guys will like him. And listen, he's got a pretty damn big channel. So that's why when I was going to venture a guess as to how long he's been out of prison, when I remembered how many views that video has had, I thought, ooh, well, he's probably been out longer than I think, because I think the video I'm talking about it was either 64,000 views or 264,000 views in a matter of days. I mean, to me, that's huge. Okay, so that's it for that. That's all of my recommendations. And now to the video. Okay, well, here's why I did not make it. Because I know I thought about it before I did it. Hey, Steph B, how are you? Oh, yes, Ted, he did. I mean, every dog has his day. I wonder what happened to Ted. As of yesterday, all I saw was that he was found dead in his cell. I don't know if it was an Epstein type of issue. Just Jake. Hi, Just Jake. I don't think I've seen you before. So if you're new, welcome. True story, Aiden Fucci and his father did landscape work in our yard 8 months before Aiden attacked that precious girl. Scary. I don't know much at all about that case, but my God, that's a little too close for comfort. That is for sure. Okay, so the video. And then I'm going to open up the, hi, Revival, how are you? Wow, Ted was 81. Holy shit. I'll tell you what, if he lived to be 81, he enjoyed a much longer life than, any of his victims, that's for sure. So I was listening to Queen Bee from, I think, even Friday night, or was it Saturday and this morning. So I think I know everything that happened on Saturday. I am not all the way caught up on yesterday's festivities. Here's what I know. And then I'll tell you why I made the video. I know that Dirtbag Dolly, I don't go to his channel. Okay. The one time I went there and I listened to him was when I did a watch and react. I don't know. Maybe we need to have another one of those. Oh, well, thank you, Just Jake. I appreciate that. So I know that, listen, y'all, much like some of the mysteries of the world, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, Hanging Gardens of Babylon, things along that. Oh, the pyramids in Egypt. I can't explain. I don't know how. I don't know how they got there. I don't know how it happens. I also use that same thought process when trying to figure out why a short, balding, unattractive man has all these women pining for him. I don't get it, but I don't have to because I ain't one of them and I would never be one of them. I get that he can do this, and because I don't watch him, I don't know what other tricks he's got in his Fisher Price toolbox to just drive the ladies crazy. I don't know. I mean, just for me personally, I don't care what he's working with. Like, irrelevant. No matter what that anything having to do with him. I don't get it, and I don't have an explanation for it. But I can guess what it's not. And I heard that Dolly, along with some of these women that sit up on his panel, one of whom needs to get some fucking real curtains. I mean, because Tina, if you're going to be a star, baby, well, you might just want to just zhuzh it up, okay? Just zhuzh up your background. I'm sure green screen's out of the question, but that's okay. You don't have to use a green screen. But, just for purely aesthetic purposes, I mean, I don't think curtain panels from Walmart are that expensive. Hell, you could probably use a shower curtain in place of a curtain panel. But, and I think I told you before, Tina, I mean, you do you, girl, but while you're quite attractive, and you look like you have a great shape, when there comes an age like where lingerie on the outside as apparel, well, it's really kind of so I guess they sit over there and they want to talk about how we all know he hates Queen Bee with a passion. He is so jealous he cannot stand it. And listen, I get it. I understand. I mean, I don't know. I don't live with a man, nor do I have any in my orbit, even on the furthest peripheral, that would be jealous of another. Well, I don't know any of those men who would have a YouTube channel doing what he does, but whatever, do you. But we all get it. We know you're jealous. It's so very apparent and clear. And I also cannot explain why grown people, men or women, Hey, Heather B. Beachy, how are you? Oh, I love that. That's so cute. Shiva Mom, how you doing? Steph B, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. If I did, hello again. I don't know why any man or woman would let another grown man or woman tell them where they can and cannot go, who they can and cannot listen to. And when they are giving you money, I really don't get it. So there's all kinds of weird shit going on over there that I don't get. I don't want to get. Okay? I don't want to understand it. And the women, I don't get that either. But I don't give a shit because I don't give Dolly money. I don't have to come on YouTube and come up with a scam of the week to pay my bills. And while I understand, I completely understand the jealousy and the envy. I do not understand the hate, especially from a man to a woman. Does he ever start shit with men? Like I heard that BK's been being BK. Is he kind of back to OG Benny Keys? I mean I kind of like that Benny Keys. Does Dolly ever step to him? I mean, I know he tried to in the past, and Benny made him look like a fucking idiot. Because I tell you what, if Dolly thinks that his wit is on par, if his rapid fire, witty repartee is on par with Benny Keys, you are sadly mistaken. And I haven't seen or spoken to Benny Keys in months. So this is not like, oh, I'm one of Benny's cheerleaders. No. But I know what he can do. So like, I remember back in the day when he and Dolly had the thing about what was that little saying? Socks, not a box. Something. Jenny D. Jeannie, hello. Oh. Well, Jenny, I certainly hope that it's not the case. And I know that he's very close to his family, so I hope that, I'm sure there are people who are, there for him and who are there to support him. I mean, Boston Nick has offered 10,000. And Nick, didn't you say you'd make it 20 if you needed to? I mean, and if ever there was somebody who looked like they could use a strap of cash, maybe you could like paint your hovel. Like you could nail down like the door frame. Maybe you could buy Tina some curtains. So as I'm sitting here right now, here's what I know. I know that there's been a lot of him talking about women's looks. Dude, I don't know why you go there. I mean, it's one thing. Women, unfortunately, we do this kind of thing. It gets catty and the personal insults. I mean, we all know that. But for a man to do that to a whole bunch of women, well, Dolly, here's a word for you that you're going to probably need a dictionary for. Look up the word misogynist. your picture will probably be there, next to the Lucky Charms leprechaun. They're magically delicious. Oh, true crime. It's not that I'm a fan. Listen, no matter what you think about Benny Keys, I've never had an issue with Benny. I know many people have, and I certainly do not co-sign. I stay out of all that. But I very much respect intellect. And no matter what you think of him, he is smart. He is. And that I respect. And I've always said he's like the YouTube Phoenix. No matter what happens, what he gets into, what comes out, etc. They haven't taken him down yet, and he seems to come back bigger every time. So I don't want to say any more on that because I was just using that as an example. I have nothing against Benny at all. We don't see each other on here anymore. He never came to my channel, and I haven't been to his in ages. So Dolly and his regular panel guests talking about, just fat shaming a lot of people. And Laura, same thing. That's why I did the video, because it's all relative. And Laura may be sitting over there thinking she's some kind of beauty queen. Well, that's great. You think whatever you want. But I didn't have to go to Mexico. I wouldn't go to Mexico. First of all, I wouldn't go to Mexico on well, I know there's a Ritz-Carlton there. I don't know if there's a Four Seasons, but there's a Ritz-Carlton there. I would not go there if it was free. Like, you will never catch me in Mexico because I just think it's dangerous, no matter where you are. And would I ever in 100 million years consider having surgery in Mexico? That would be a resounding fuck no. But if you want to, have at it. I don't give a damn. I don't care what anybody does. But my point with all that this morning was, it was exactly what I said. It was not about, hey, Zeno with Fire, Corky Carlotta, Kia, how you doing? None of that was about me trying to shame anyone. I have been guilty of bringing, like when I talk about Betty, I've talked about her looks. Guilty as charged. She's a wretched, horrible bitch who does hateful, awful things. And if I want to take the obvious gift she presents as, with her broken off, bleached mullet, and her thinking she's live streaming legal commentary in a fucking bathing suit, probably from her bed, I will. Just like people will roll up in here and say nasty things to me. That's their right. I do not ever, nor will I ever, insult anyone's appearance if they're a good person. Well, maybe I should rephrase that. I only go after I don't even speak on people unless they're vile for the most part. If I'm talking about you, it's because, well, and so is everybody else, by the way. So what I did this morning was to show them. You may think that you're sitting over there and, in your studio, and you're telling everybody they're fat, they're this, they're that. Well, guess what? I think you're fat. Like I said, where could you wear this? As a Gucci headband? A little Gucci halo. Oh, look, there you go. You can have a little Gucci halo. Oh, that actually looks kind of cute. I was just trying to make a point, okay? What I was not doing is trying to shame anyone about how they look. I don't have to do that. And why would I want to? And I've kept my mouth shut for a while. I haven't said much on this, but it seems to really be ramping up. And some of the shit that I hear you people say, if you think for 1 minute you are fucking sitting on some kind of moral high ground, you're nuts. I mean, I may tease Betty and say shitty things about the fact that, I'm sorry, she's a wretched, horrible bitch, and she's as ugly on the outside as she is on the inside. But she's a horrible bitch. She does awful things. Does it mean I'm right? No. But I'll worry about that between me, myself, and that. My point is, I don't ever look at Dolly's channel, and not for nothing, if we're what are we doing? Are we going like pound for pound? Are we gonna put a dollar figure on it, like like hamburger meat? What are we doing here? Because I don't exactly think that's the Miss Universe Hollywood Squares contestant panel. But I've never taken swipes at any of those people. Most especially the subs. But I'm sick of it. It's like, how old are you people? And truly, do you not understand? It's all relative. So you sit over there and you go ahead and, tell all these people, because you're jealous as fuck. You're jealous. You are so jealous. You can't stand it. My God. Listen, go back and listen to yourself. Listen to the shit that comes out of your mouth, and just try and look at it from, like, if you were somebody standing on the sidelines just listening. I mean, oh, Sheba, please do not pop your stitches. Oh, well, Liza, she ain't gonna get the winds of war with me, because I don't do this. Like, I'm not on here trying to pay my bills. I don't care if anybody else is. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to start anything. I can tell you, I've heard all the stories. No thanks. And what I'm saying is pales in comparison to a lot of things I've heard. I know that no matter what, whether it was Betty, no one, I I don't care what I think of someone. Unlike a lot of these people, well, I was working on my list this morning, and one of the things I was putting on my list was, you may need to put the YouTube down if. And one of the things I came up with was, if you think having no boundaries is the equivalent of a no limit credit card, survey says, I mean, no matter what I think of anybody on here, I would never, ever. There are places I will not go. And someone who's lost a child, I would never go there. I mean, that is like, it doesn't get any lower than that. So if they want to come for me because I'm speaking a little bit of truth, well, I can't do anything about that. But so the point of the whole thing was nothing more than, yeah, over in your little world over there, has anybody ever seen her, Laura? Has anybody ever seen her from the shoulders down? I'm just curious. I never have. I don't know if, hey, Beer Can, how you doing? I don't know if she ever does. Like, has anybody ever seen all of her is my question, because she's one who, hey, Fit and Curvy, how you doing? She's one who definitely feels some type of way about appearing on camera. Listen, everybody's got their own thoughts on that. I don't care either way, okay? The only thing I would say about it is, when you're someone like a prayer garden, like that illiterate, evil viper, well, that's just one more thing we can use against you, that you don't show your face. And I have a feeling we probably should all send her a thank you note for that. Because, ooh, she's another one that I promise you, she is as hideous on the outside as she is rotted on the inside. Hey, Bash, how you doing? Jenny on Geriatric Baywatch, is that what she's auditioning for? Oh, God. Oh, hell's bells. Boy, they should all be glad that I have a lot more couth about myself, because I'm just going to leave it right there. Yeah. Betty, does your bathing suit have a skirt attached to it, sweetie? It probably should. I'm just guessing. I've never seen the bottom of Betty. Well, no, we have seen the bottom of Betty. And not for nothing, Betty. I don't know what's going on with you, girl, but I'm worried about you. You don't look good. And I'm being 100 right now. She does not look good. I don't know what's wrong with her. I don't know what's going on. But Betty, I hope that you make your real life a priority. And I don't know, Betty, go back and look at yourself from a year ago at this time. You look like a different person, and not in a good way. So that was the point. I'm tired of listening to all these fucking holier than thou, low down dirty bitches who they go for the last thing you should go for. And why? I'm telling you, it's jealousy. My green eyes, those are real. And they don't come from me being jealous. I don't give a shit if this channel ever does a thing. Go look at my videos. I would say there might be the last, I don't know, maybe the last 5 if I'm lucky, I've even bothered to hashtag. I got other shit going on. This is just something fun for me to do. I'm not on here trying to take anybody's subs. I'm not trying to take anybody's money. I mean, but I do understand. Here's one thing I'm going to say that I understand. Hey, Sofa Girl, how you doing? I understand how they are ate up with jealousy. And I can relate to when I look at people like Dolly and Betty, all of them. And I say to myself, what the hell? I keep saying, you guys, listen, if y'all, hey, Sherlock homie, if you all are buying everything from cat litter to tampons, half of these people don't even appear to speak the same fucking language as me, which is the King's English. Y'all don't speak the King's English. Y'all speak some kind of, I don't know what version y'all speak. And it's not about an accent. Don't get that twisted. So yes, I sit back and I say, well, my goodness, I don't understand this. They're dumb. They're mean. Not all of them and not all the time, but most of them. They get more wrong than they get right. And people are buying them all this shit. And I don't even care about that part. But it's the fact that people want, that's what people seem to want. Well, and you know my attitude? I'm not here trying to pay bills. I'm not even trying to sell you anything. It's a hobby. This is something for me to do. So, okay. I don't get it. But if that's what people want, well, they're going to have to go there for it because I'm not going to do that. I will not debase myself on here. I will not play stupid. I try to, y'all give me one moment, please. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, so the video was basically it was exactly what I said. It's all relative. And that's life. I don't care who you are, what you do for a living, how much money you make, where you live, etc., how much education you have. There is always somebody who's everything I said. I mean, do you think that I'm sitting in this chair not fully aware that there are lots of women on here who are smarter, prettier, and have more money? I'm very well aware of that. I've always known that my whole life. So it was just my way of kind of like, you may want to keep this in perspective over there, because I was blessed in many ways, but I meant what I said. I don't eat good. I mean, I live on cereal and coffee. I haven't picked up a weight in probably a decade. I'm just genetically blessed. But when I hear somebody who's left the country to go get some kind of surgery, oh, okay, Sherlock Holmes, hold on, I'm scrolling back up. Oh, you may need to put the YouTube down. If live streaming yourself while screaming ignorance through a bullhorn, even if it does have crystals on it, I added that. Screaming ignorance through a bullhorn makes you feel like an expert acrobat twirling on a stripper pole. Oh, with a baton. Maybe she could get a baton with some streamers, like you used to have on your bicycle when you were a kid. Yeah. So that was my whole point. Okay. You're sitting over there up on your high horse, wanting to tell everybody all about themselves. Well, do you like it when I did it to you? Because I did. I didn't do it the way you did it. I don't come on here and I try and keep the F-bombs to a minimum. I'm the same person off of YouTube as I am on YouTube. I try and always conduct myself with dignity and, class. Can't buy that. You can learn it, I guess. I don't know. I know you can't buy it though. And I think old Molly, yeah, isn't she one of Laura's? They're like that, right? BFFs. Yeah. Molly, honey, have you figured out yet? After my, I don't know, umpteenth video about sizing. What's that old expression? You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. And you need to get yourself in some grown woman clothes. Okay, honey? I don't know how you got to be your age, especially such a gorgeous internet sensation such as yourself. Well, girl, how do you know? How do you not know that women's sizing is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and on it goes? So for her to say she's what, a 5? That would be 1, 3, 5. So 0, 2, 4. So that would be a 4. Molly, where could you wear my belt? Just wondering. Oh, a headband? Yeah. Well, definitely not a belt. We know that. Good Lord, girl. So, like, see, I see through all this bullshit. I think that people like her, a lot of the people that get enamored with like the Mollies and Laura, well, hell, people are probably enamored with her because they're afraid not to be. Jesus Christ. I mean, she's woo. That is one angry ass mofo right there. And listen, when she went on her big rant the other day about all the things she would do if you cross, what did she say? If I get one more letter or some shit like that. Wow. Who does that? Like, I mean, and I get the whole, like, I get the concept of what, the drama deal. But that kind of sounded like, whew, that sounded like a big departure from drama. That was more like, sounded like very real threats. How old is she? She's my age, I think. I think I heard her say she was 52. I know she's close to my age. Wow. And you're still playing high school games on the internet? Like, I don't have any problem with the back and forth. It's when people want to leave the realm of YouTube. Like, why? Why do you need to do that? And truly, I mean, I've said before, Laura to me seems to be one of the most miserable people on here. Is she ever happy? Like, all the clips I've ever heard of her, she's always angry. She's always screaming. She's always threatening something. I mean, what are you going to threaten me with? Because I clowned you with my belt. And what they love to do is, talk about how many subs they have and how many you don't have. Well, I don't give a fuck. I mean, I think it's evidenced by my catalog that I'm not I'm not overly motivated to do the things you have to do to really like get yourself out there. And trust me, if I wanted to, I could. Because if those ass clowns can get all those people following them, I mean, don't get it twisted. I got the formula or the recipe. I definitely know how to go about it if I want to. I do not. Because I'm a grown up, number one. And I mean, from where I'm sitting, a lot of these people, they don't look that stable, okay? Because I just, in my real life, I just do not know anyone who threatens people's jobs, their spouses' jobs, their children. I mean, that's sick. That is next level. And I'm not directing that at any one person. They all do it. And then, of course, they all say they don't do it, but we all know they do it. Oh, thank you, Zena. Okay. Hey, Kathy B, how you doing? Oh, Soper, you know what? I tried that last time, the Disport. I don't think it lasted any longer, but it took effect much faster. Usually it takes like anywhere between 3 and 7 days, but I'm going to try it again. This week, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, that's all it was. That's all my video was. I And I know it's going to be misconstrued by somebody who's going to take offense to it and think that, I was trying to shame. Now, I was actually trying to do the exact opposite is what I was trying to do. I was trying to take up for the ones that are being shamed. And I think I said the other day, Dolly and company, I wouldn't take Queen Bee is a million of you are not worth one of her. And clearly, I'm not the only one who thinks that way. And I think that's why they're so jelly, because they can't. And listen, it's not just having an open panel and letting anybody come up and say their piece. It's not. That's not it. There's something, there's a vibe that you can't really just put your finger on. And because if it was that simple, do you not think they would do it? And I think they have more subs by maybe 10,000 or so. I think I heard her say she was getting to 13. But another difference is I heard in yesterday's live when she was about to hit 13K, the first thing out of her mouth, look what we did. And I've heard that many times. There's a big difference. Y'all sit over there like you're fucking hillbilly, ignorant, white trash sounding. And that's not applicable to all of them, but I'll let you figure out who gets what designation. Yeah, y'all think you like hung the moon and the stars and you're, none of you are famous. You're not going to be famous. I can't explain why you have as many people as you do, but like I started out, I also can't explain how the pyramids got there. It's just a little je ne sais quoi. Oh, Dolly, don't even try. I mean, you won't even be able to figure out what language that is. It's not the language you speak. So I have never, if what I was trying to do was show off or shame people and say, well, look at me, I'm better than you because I wear a belt that you could only use as a headband. No, I'm just making a point. I'm actually taking up for the people that you're shaming by giving you a little dose of your own. Like you're over there thinking, you're all high and mighty and superior. Well, not to me, you're not. Just like there's somebody around the corner that's 25 years younger than me. Maybe she's got a 21-inch waist. I have never come on here and done what a lot of these people do. Wanting you to think that they are so superior to you because of some material possessions. My material possessions, they're paid for in full. I wonder if they can all say that. Gee, I wonder what do you think like Molly's debt to available credit ratio is? I mean, half of these people, if I said, what's your FICO score? They'd be like, what the hell's that? I don't give a shit about sub count. Do you care about your credit score? Probably not. So what I did, and the only reason that I tell people what I'm wearing is because the channel is crimes and fashion. And that's kind of turned into the fashion part of the channel. Just me telling you what I'm wearing. I don't take you in my closet. I don't show you my accessories. I mean, unless I'm wearing something. I don't walk you around my house. Because the way I was raised, that's like gauche. You don't do shit like that. I'm not here to flex. So, just like my video this morning. I mean, and I made it knowing full well, I'm sure it's going to get, turned around, but I don't care. If I cared, I wouldn't have done it. And it truly was. It came from that place, a place of shut up, because you ain't all that, as I'm about to show you. So there you have it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. So, oh God, I mean, here's my experience in life. And most of this you come by later in life. If you're lucky enough to have been raised with some manners and some class, so that you do grow up and have class. Well, it starts at home, and it starts when you're very young. I mean, I grew up in a house where my God, you would never. Do you know what would have happened if I sat down with someone and my mom heard me saying, oh, well, like I remember when designer jeans came out. I was in middle school. And I was very lucky. I had probably more than most of the kids in school. But if my mom had ever heard me saying, oh yeah, I got these the other day and they cost, I don't even remember, I think they were like $30 back then, but obviously you have to adjust for, I don't know what the today's money equivalent would be, but you just didn't, you did not talk about what you had, how much it cost. You didn't do shit like that. And that's why Molly grosses me out so much, because it's just the antithesis of everything I was raised with. Like, you do not do that. It is tacky. You do not talk about what you have, how much it cost. I mean, you just don't. But my experience in life is the ones who talk about everything they have and how much it costs. Well, they probably don't have jack shit, and what they do have, they are probably paying, anywhere between 18 and 23% interest on a credit card for. Or they're in a leased car that they can't afford. I mean, lots of people do that. So, and just, you'll have to take my word for it. What Molly wants you to think she has, well, that tells me she's probably never been around somebody who's truly wealthy, because they don't do any of the shit she does. They just don't. And when I say truly wealthy, I mean people who you would recognize their last names, some of them, and some that you wouldn't. But the money that they have amassed, it's generational. Like, nobody, It'll probably be a never-ending source of income for all the generations to come. That's wealth. That's money. And there could be some of them here on YouTube. I don't know. But if there is, it would probably be in the vein of philanthropy. Oh, that's probably another. Put that down with je ne sais quoi, except philanthropy is English. Je ne sais quoi. Well, if you know, you know. And if you don't, well, I don't know. Try and Google it. That probably would be cute. So anyway, hey, Harpy, how you doing? Yes. I mean, here's the thing. Class has nothing to do with money. I mean, they can be completely mutually exclusive. One does not equate to the other. Not at all. As evidenced by Molly, who most definitely does not possess one and never will. And the other, probably not that one either. But hey, I don't give a shit. I don't have to balance her checkbook. So that's that. Well, Kathy, you know what? Well, I'm glad you appreciate it. And truly, Kathy, I've wanted to say some of this for a while, but I really do try and take the longer approach. I mean, on some of them, it's so egregious and vile and disgusting, and it's like they do it all the time. You don't need to wait. But something like this, I've sat back and watched for a while, and I just thought, well, this would be a perfect way to maybe, I mean, if it was me, I'd feel like a dick. If I was over there telling everybody how fat they are and they got this and they got that and yada, yada, yada. Well, I'd feel like a dick if somebody came on and called me out and did a little show and tell to really drive the point home. It's all relative. And trust me, it's all relative. And I'm every bit my age. I'm not trying to be, well, of course we all want to look younger than we are, but this is what I look like in real life. I'm a little saggier, but this here, like if I get real close to the camera, you can see. I mean, and as you get older, this gets hollowed. And, you know, then this starts falling and it makes these. So this is me. If you ran into me, you would know me immediately. I'd be a little saggier than how it appears here.